You are looking at the unluckiest prisoner in any Western movie, spending 15 years in a dungeon without smiling. Even his release brings him no happiness at all. 27 bullets. You put them in the bottom left drawer 15 years ago. The total. It is simple. Nobody really knows what Ryan endured during those 15 years rotting in prison, and it is safe to say that it wasn't because he was a cold-blooded, evil criminal. Rather, he was betrayed by friends he trusted, pulling us back to a rainy night 15 years ago when Ryan and his crew robbed a cash transport carriage. He never imagined that his 4 friends would brutally slaughter the family at the ranch just to cover their tracks and leave no witnesses. Driven by true guilt and a shred of conscience, Ryan quietly hid the young boy, the only one who survived the brutal massacre at the ranch. This allowed the young boy to escape his burning fate. Ryan carried the pain of this betrayal and massacre for 15 long years, and his goal after release is crystal clear: to reclaim everything he lost. With his last bit of money, he bought a horse to start his vengeance, but eyes were already on him. Ryan knows 15 years have passed, and his betrayers won't let him go. The shrewd man makes his move and steals the 2 killers' horses. After escaping, Ryan visits the home of the boy he saved. Staring at the 3 lonely graves, he feels a deep sense of guilt. The little boy who once hid in the corner is now a famous local gunslinger. Ryan stares at the stranger standing right before him and can't help but ask, "Yes, that was my family. I am sorry." Bill was suspicious, wondering if Ryan knew the identity of the killers who slaughtered his family. Driven to find the truth, Bill clings to Ryan like glue. He uncovers the next killer, but Ryan always beats him to it, determined to handle the revenge mission on his own terms. Walcott, that hypocritical politician, is their next target. Since Bill killed the last enemy, Ryan didn't get any compensation. So Ryan now wants more compensation from Walcott, but news of their revenge mission reaches Walcott's ears, and this will be far more difficult. Ryan sneaks into Walcott's office, seeing him dressed in finery. Then he thinks of his 15 years spent in prison and having nothing. His anger boils, as the first traitor has been dealt with. So Ryan demands $30,000 from Walcott as compensation, and he will not settle for less. Walcott had expected this and set a massive trap to catch him. Underestimating Walcott, Ryan is captured and viciously beaten, yet the politician does not kill him right away. He has another scapegoat, planning to make Ryan the fall guy, using his position to secretly plot the theft of a $1 million city development project. Back when monthly wages were $30, this was a massive fortune. That night, Walcott and his crew busted down the bank doors, executing their plan to clear out a cool $1 million before hauling the loot to a remote Mexican border village. They tossed the bruised Ryan off the wagon before fleeing. The sheriff soon swarms the scene, staring at the ruined bank, while the hypocritical Walcott rushes over to play the part of a truly devastated victim. Right on cue, the deputies follow the carriage tracks and spot poor Ryan dumped on the side of the road. Ryan served 15 years and is finally free, but he's framed again. What awaits him now is not prison, but the gallows. Ryan offers no defense, just glaring at Walcott, who fears the delay and insists on an immediate hanging. The crowd around him starts to cheer for his death. The sheriff senses something is fishy, so he decides to lock Ryan in a cell until he can hunt down the real accomplices and learn the truth. Walcott, worried about his scheme, joins the sheriff to hunt for the bandits. He never expected that this would give Bill a chance. Bill finds a thick chain, ties it to the rear window, and uses a passing train's force to rip the window bars right out. The 2 escape the town, but running away only serves to seal Ryan's guilt as a man. Walcott panics, feeling he played too big. If his plot is exposed, all his hard work will go up in smoke. Ryan and Bill find a hiding spot to rest and talk. Ryan accidentally lets it slip about Walcott's other base in Mexico. Bill is thrilled and immediately steals his horse to ride off. He's determined to beat Ryan there and execute the killer with his own hands. Bill soon arrives at that dusty Mexican border village, which feels like a ghost town with scattered skulls all over the ground, truly a living hell. But he shows no fear as he walks straight toward a dark house. The locals look absolutely petrified as he enters, clearly used to being pushed around by Walcott's brutal crew. Bill looks at the shivering woman before him and tries to comfort her, telling her there is nothing to fear. Yet, even after his words, the woman remains full of terror. She urges Bill to leave, for they kill without blinking. But Bill is not afraid. He wants to see their rage. Before long, the bandits ride back and start tormenting the woman, which is way too much for Bill to handle while hiding in the shadows. Ignoring the odds, he stands up to teach these bandits a painful lesson. But the second that thug takes off his hat, Bill notices a specific earring hanging from his ear, making his eyes widen in shock because he recognizes that very jewelry from the night of the massacre. That earring is the mark of one of the men who slaughtered his family, so the bandit wants to fight with a knife. But Bill tells him to draw his gun instead, saying he doesn't play childish games, and they both prepare for a lethal showdown. Do you remember? I have known you for so many years, and you were once with a woman. Unfortunately, that woman happened to be my own mother. Hate blinds. He is focused on unleashing his rage, ignoring the real danger surrounding him. Now, his path to revenge is even tougher. Meanwhile, Walcott is arriving with his gang. Bill watches as the gang rides back to their lair, feeling completely helpless and stuck. They stash the $1 million, and Pedro soon hears the news that Bill killed his brother. He flies into a rage, grabbing a whip to beat Bill and vent his sick anger. That's when Bill spots the scar on Pedro's face and freezes. He recognizes another killer. "You will pay for this." Pedro screams while whipping him, but Bill just bites down hard, refusing to make a sound. Walcott finally rides in, and Bill's eyes lock onto him instantly. This is another killer who murdered his family. After 15 years, he has found them all. But Walcott is smart. He knows Bill was with Ryan, so he demands to know where he is. He starts manipulating Bill, trying to find out where Ryan is hiding. Bill pretends to give in to buy time, but bandits drag him out, bury him deep in a pit with only his head exposed, making it clear those skulls are the result of this brutal torture. To torture Bill, Pedro pours a handful of salt down his throat, intending to let him die of thirst under the sun. Then, the gang leaves to go hunt down Ryan. But Ryan expected this, and he disguised himself to avoid them. Ryan soon enters the village and sees thugs guarding the warehouse. He tries to hide his face, but they notice him, thinking he is a local, and decide to have some fun. But Ryan picks them all off. Looking at the weak Bill on the ground, Ryan wears a very satisfied smile. Now you know the pain of rushing for your own revenge? The villagers come out to help Bill get up. The chief stares at Ryan and Bill with desperation. He knows these two are dangerous gunmen, their only hope to drive off Walcott's gang. But why would they risk necks for strangers? Bill then decides to help all these oppressed villagers, aiming to wipe out Walcott's gang for good. He's doing it to avenge his family and bring justice to these innocent folks. Bill tells Ryan it takes the gang about 8 or 9 hours to loop back, giving them a perfect window to fight. Ryan thinks it over and decides to stay and fight. They immediately get to work on defenses, and Ryan orders the villagers to dig a deep trench at the entrance. Bill, regaining strength, hands out guns to the men, while moving women and kids to a cave for safety. Everything is ready, and a brutal fight for survival is about to start. Sure enough, the bandits fall for it, rushing to the village in a rage, but at the entrance, they are stopped by defenses the villagers prepared. The bandits refused to quit and tried to break through, but the villagers drove them back with heavy losses. Walcott ordered his main force to attack, acting as a front diversion. Meanwhile, Walcott sneaks in through the back with his men to ambush them. The plan works, catching the inexperienced locals off guard, and they fall apart, becoming fodder in this fight. Only Ryan and Bill escaped, trapped in a remote hut. Walcott wasn't in any hurry. He wanted them to die slowly, so they remained in a tense standoff. By daybreak, Walcott loses patience, ordering his men to haul all the stolen cash out of the warehouse. While lying down to rest, Bill catches a glimpse of the pendant around Ryan's neck. It belonged to the man who saved him. Though Ryan didn't kill the parents, he was in their gang. Thus, the 5 main culprits are now identified. You were also there. There were 5 of them that night. I came at the end. Ryan explains that he found them all. When he reached the ranch, Bill's family was dead, so he could only save the young boy. But he points out that with them short on hands, they should focus on wiping out the bandits first. For 15 years, he endured the pain of betrayal while living with the guilt of failing to save Bill's family. Suddenly, the bandits launch a full-scale assault, knowing that once that massive sandstorm hits, they will lose their key tactical advantage. But they never expected that the sandstorm would arrive this early. Visibility drops to almost 0. Ryan and Bill use the sandstorm as cover, using the village layout to appear from nowhere and pick off the attacking bandits one by one. During the fight, Bill steps up, using Ryan's trick to bait Pedro into wasting all his ammo. He reveals himself and fires a perfect shot to kill him. Seeing the thugs rush, Bill thinks fast and releases the cart of cash, successfully killing several of the men. As the gale sweeps through, Walcott sneaks up to the roof. Bill walks over to Walcott's dead body, frustrated he didn't get the kill, but he knows that if not for Ryan, he would be dead twice over. The wind fades away and the village finds peace, but Bill doesn't plan on letting Ryan go. The two stare, ready to duel. Still, Bill tosses a single bullet to Ryan, proving he refuses to take advantage of the man while he is completely down. However, Ryan has no intention to duel. He puts his life in Bill's hands, letting him decide whether he lives or dies today.
Defenditi, Ryan!
He. Bill was silent for a while, but couldn't shoot. He dropped his gun, turned, and rode off. Thanks for leaving me the horse. He leaves wordless. No final revenge. Bill drops his hate, choosing peace. And so the movie ends.